Why do I love AbilityPoint? Because they are my family.
All the programs are truly life-saving.
Every year, AbilityPoint is the best part of my summer.
AbilityPoint has been a second family to us. I really don't know what I would do without them.
I love it and I can't imagine life without it.
AbilityPoint is where support starts, hope begins, smiles are created, and where ability is celebrated through hundreds of programs and services each and every single year, bringing hope and respite to thousands of families throughout South Central Kansas. But sadly, that wasn't always the case. Imagine a world when opportunities didn't exist for anyone living with an intellectual and developmental disability. Lifespans were short, and most of these precious individuals were sent away to live out their days in an institution. The few who lived at home faced many barriers that prevented acceptance and inclusion. They weren't allowed in public schools. They didn't experience social opportunities.
We all want to be treated just like anybody else.
Luckily, others agreed. AbilityPoint owes most of its legacy to matriarch and founder Wilma Martin, whose baby girl was developmentally disabled. It was Wilma who read about a new national organization helping individuals like her daughter, and as they say, the rest is history. Knowing she couldn't be the only mother looking for help and support, she networked the best way she could in the early 1950s by leaving information in bookstores and the public library. Those calls were soon answered.
A new mom was told to leave her baby at the hospital because she had what is known today as Down syndrome, but she kept her baby and looked for books that could help her out. There wasn't much information at all back then, but the storekeeper at Ennis remembered me and gave her my information. We met for coffee and decided to put ads in the newspaper asking other families to meet. 37 families showed up to that first meeting.
From that initial meeting, Wilma, with the help of an advisory board comprised of many of those first 37 families, began one of the first chapters in the country of the newly formed Arc of the United States, and what is known today as AbilityPoint was born. After sharing her daughter's experiences in public school, receiving little to no education or instruction, education became the first priority.
She was 13 by the time we had started the Arc, and we decided that we couldn't let what happened to our kids happen to the little ones. So we started a preschool.
That's right. In its first year, the small and new agency created a first preschool in Kansas for children with a disability. Then they shattered myths and misconceptions about individuals with special needs and persuaded Wichita Public Schools to offer the first special education classroom in Kansas and one of the first in the U.S. And before you knew it, socialization and recreation programs were added, including programs still popular today like Camp Ability and dance nights.
Parents thought that we couldn't do anything, that we ever fool them.
With that attitude, the agency continued to grow, adding the first sheltered workshop in the state in the 1960s. Wanting greater acceptance and to promote a more diverse and compassionate society, youth activity days and respite along with mini tours were introduced in the 1970s, providing integrated experiences through travel and outings to popular attractions and events that teach planning, day-to-day life skills, time, and money management. Today, mini tours remain one of the most popular services available, allowing for new opportunities for people who share the same desires as anyone else, to be accepted and included, to enjoy recreation in public settings like sporting events and dining out. The 1980s saw the birth of the now nationally recognized Youth Education and Summer Socialization, otherwise known as YES, helping students retain what they learned during the school year while developing improved communication and socialization skills with a half-day of classroom instruction and a half-day in the community. The first external targeted case management program in Kansas, assisting to identify, select, obtain, and coordinate resources and supports, was created in the 1990s, along with the creation of the Young Adult Club, Discovery Days, and the Thankful Feast. AbilityPoint's growth continued in the new millennium with Circle of Friends, Guardianship Assistance Program, Miss Unstoppable, Learning Series, Adult Days, Tier Zero support, and so much more. Perhaps the biggest change came in 2021 when a new name was announced.
Since 1953, we have served all of South Central Kansas, being the point of support for so many families, creating smiles and laughter. We are excited to be AbilityPoint.
As we look back on its remarkable journey, we can't help but feel inspired by the dedication and vision for a more inclusive and accepting world set forth in 1953. For 70 years, that same passion has guided AbilityPoint and the more than 300 unique and innovative programs and activities each year, serving thousands of individuals of all ages and their families. Thanks to those original families and their incredible vision and never give up determination, AbilityPoint continues to be a beacon of hope and support for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families. They've transformed lives, created opportunities, and shattered stereotypes, all while celebrating the incredible abilities of each individual. So, here's to AbilityPoint and the next 70 years of making a difference in the lives of those who need it most.